endless white bodies of ice covered with cracks. Colossal streams that look so stunning, and even giant ice caves seem to be something from another planet. All of these are glaciers. They cover a tenth of all land of Earth, millions of miles of snow and ice, which hide the mysteries of prehistoric times, the remains of long-extinct animals, human mummies, and even ancient viruses. This is only a small part of the things permafrost hides inside. Glaciers have always attracted people. Climbers go on glacier expeditions. Scientists study separate science called glaciology to unravel their mysteries. Climbers from all over the world pay thousands of dollars just to see them. But in Ecuador, there are a man for whom this miracle of nature is just a workplace. They call him the last ice cutter, a representative of disappearing profession. Balthazar Ushca, whom we met in the last episode, has been extracting centuries-old ice on the slopes of Mount Chimborazo all his life. Everyone needed ice to freeze lamb, oranges, tangerines. Before refrigerators were invented, he climbed one of the largest glaciers in Ecuador every day, and he didn't give up this business even despite his venerable age. Today, without exaggeration, he's a pride and national hero for the whole country, a man who has given a monument during his lifetime. When you're 77, you keep going to the mountains and doing your job, it deserves some respect. Few people are capable of this. And today we have a unique opportunity to gather with a legendary man to climb the Chimberaza volcano and see how crystal clear ice is produced. So here's our team: Balthazar Ushca, 77, the last ice hunter, Juan Ushca, his son-in-law and student, Carmela Ushca, daughter of the famous ice cutter, and Edison Ushca, his grandson. Today's program is special. Together with a family of ice cutters, we will proceed from ancient times to the 21st century, the era of business. Everyone is ready to start. Next, we only go higher. The world inside out with Dmytro Komarov, Ecuador. How high are we going to climb? Approximately 15,750 feet, almost the height of Mont Blanc. The main peak of Western Europe is a real strength test for climbers from all over the world, but the Ushca family regularly reaches the same height. They're not looking for extreme sports or a source of pride, they're just doing their job. So, my friends, our ascent to Chimberaza begins. About 4 hours of climbing the mountain is ahead of us. A pleasant surprise awaited us in the start. Look, a very well-paved path begins suddenly. Unexpectedly, incredibly, the Ecuadorians respect Balthazar so much that the local authorities even made a road to the highest mountain in the country for his sake, so that he would be easier for the folk here to reach the glacier. This used to be ordinary dirt here, just like that, and donkeys constantly slipped on it. Now it's a pleasure to walk along such a road. On the screen, our ascent looks like an easy walk along the beautiful path, but in fact, we have been gaining altitude for almost 2 hours now, and it's getting harder and harder to keep pace. Friends, we're almost entering the cloud. We already see a completely different terrain. It's rocky and very cold. For us, getting to work is just a matter of taking public transport or a car, but for the Ushca family, this is always only a hiking path, which includes both mountain trekking and elements of mountaineering. It's incredible how these people endured such trips every day when absolutely everyone needed ice. Usually, you prepare for the ascent, you acclimatize. Here we just arrived from the city and immediately went to such altitude. My head is spinning. When you start walking actively, especially if the slope is steep, it just knocks you out. Let's go. We'll drink and dance up there. I dream of being like you in 77, so energetic, strong and cheerful. The glacier is closed now. The trail gets harder. We'll have to make our way through rocky ledges and stone rubble. Therefore, before the final assault, we'll make a short halt to have a bite and gain strength. Before we eat, we should pray for our safe return. Lord, our Father, be merciful to us on Mount Chimberaza. Help us to descend without obstacles, without rain and hail. Is it for Chimberaza to be supported? Yeah. Would you like to have a bite of our traditional food, black bread, high-calorie Ukrainian sausage, very tasty and filling? Thank you. Help yourself. Here in big chunks. I'll eat it by myself. So, you believe that Chimberaza is alive? Is it he or she, by the way? It's a man. And what is this man capable of, the Chimberaza volcano? Oh, he's capable of many things. According to legend, if a young girl goes alone to Chimberaza, she can become pregnant from the volcano, and then children with white hair are born. My father was just like that, completely blown and with a white beard. Everyone said that he was the son of Chimberaza, and I happened to be his grandson. That's it, my friends. Can you imagine the legend that Chimberaza is a volcano that can impregnate a woman, and then a child with white hair is born? Well, it's time for us to get stronger. Want to warm up a little? A cup of tea? Here, take it. Well, to your health. It's so hot. Probably a lot of firewood is needed to boil it so well. It hasn't cooled it down yet. Here, hold it. What is that thing? Don't you use thermoses? No, I've never seen anything like that. And how much does it cost? I bought it yesterday for $10 in your city. I wonder how it works. This is the usual, the one with a mirror, you know, the cheapest. It's a useful thing. Usually, wild tribes living deep in the jungle may not know about the benefits of civilization. For them, our equipment often seems like something fantastic. But this family lives in the very center of the country and regularly visits the big city. It's hard for me to believe that I am hearing. Just in case, I clarify, until today you didn't know about the existence of such a thing as a thermos? No. How old are you? 19. It's amazing, my friends. To be honest, I'm shocked. In the 21st century, people who live in a fairly large city, they don't know that there is such a thing as a thermos, and they've never taken it to the mountains. I'll give you this one. Take it right away. Did you give it to Edison? I'll give each of you a thermos, I promise. Never go to the mountains without it, okay? Okay, thank you. So, let's go? Let's go. The trail leads us upward along a steep path. It's so hard. Glaciers are already visible, and somewhere there's precious ice, which will be taken down from the mountain. The inhabitants of the Andes have a great life hack on how to make it easier for yourself to climb the mountains. Did I do the right thing by taking the rope too? Yes. Hold on to the donkey, so you'll go faster and get less tired. Stop. Large stones block the road. Donkeys can't get through. We need to clean the path. We've almost arrived at the place where the ice is mined. This boulder blocked the way for the donkeys. The donkeys simply cannot overcome such an obstacle. It's like a step. So Juan and Balthazar changed the direction of the road. A new path is ready in just 5 to 7 minutes. Here you are. The donkey can now bypass. About 20 more minutes of ascent, and Balthazar reports that we are there. To put it mildly, I'm surprised. We're used to the fact that in a glacier is a huge field of snow and ice, endless white permafrost all around, but here the glacier looks very different. Here, friends, it seems that we're walking on rocky ground, but now, below us is a glacier. Look, here it is, the wealth. Here it is, my ice mine. These stones we walked on are just a small layer of soil and pebbles on top, and below it is a glacier. This is proof that this is ancient ice, and not last year's, for example. I mean, it didn't freeze yesterday or the day before yesterday. It's definitely very old. No one knows for sure how old it is. Balthazar gets to work immediately. I walk an energy drink. I came here so tired I want to take a breath, to sit down for a second, and you take these pickaxe and start cutting ice at once. Down below we saw a modest old man who played the role of a living exhibit among the crowds of tourists in the museum. Now we see a completely different person. He's in his element. It's necessary to remove the layer covered with mud and make sure that a completely clean layer of ice remains. Ice is literally dug out of the ground, and they do it manually using the most primitive tools, namely picks and axes. Balthazar, can I help you? Yes, take the tool. We changed the camera for an axe. Show me how to do it right. Like that, little by little. This job is for real strong man. You know what's interesting, friends? Almost everyone thinks that the highest mountain on the planet is Everest. But according to one version, the highest mountain on the planet is just Chimborazo. And that's why the globe is not perfectly round. It's flattened at the poles and expanded in the part where the equator is located. Accordingly, the mountain is located on the equator and it is farther from the center of the Earth. Its height, if measured from the center of the Earth, is higher. This is the theory of some scientists. If you believe in it, then this mountain is about 6,560 feet higher than Everest. Oh, what a block Balthazar broke off. How much weight can a donkey carry at a time? Now, on 2 donkeys, we can take 132 pounds at a time. Can you count how many times you went to Chimberaza? Almost every day for 60 years, 7 days a week. So if you turn on the calculator, it turns out that you climbed 21,900 times. Is it true? Wow, I've never calculated it. You said you mined 10 pieces a day, right? Yes. 216,000 of these ice cubes. It's hard to even imagine such a number. If you lined up these cubes one after the other, you'll get a line of more than 62 miles. This ice could be enough, for example, for an impressive ice town. And all this is due to the efforts of one humble person. Did you go to school? No. Just last year, people from the municipality said that I should at least learn how to write my name, and they sent me to this school. Can you imagine? He first went to school at the age of 76. 1 year ago, because the local government asked him, "Say, you are so famous, but you can't even write your own name." I think it deserves applause. It's so great to take such a serious step in life at the age of 76. I really enjoy starting learning letters. In the age of 76, he went to first grade. At 77, he continues to cut ice. I will do it until God takes me. This is my calling. He's a thought man. What can I say? So when the ice is shaped like a cube, this is how they wrap it up, this precious ice. And now we hang it on a donkey. Oh, it's heavy. Balthazar is so carried away by what he loves that he seemingly throws a 66-pound piece of ice onto a donkey without noticing. He checks that the load is securely tied and the knots are tightened. Juan, can you say that you were given this role over the last ice cutter? Yes. It can be said that I inherited this profession from my father-in-law. I'm happy to help him in his work. Carmita, I watched your son today. Here, while you were working, he was filming on his phone. Looks like your son doesn't want to do it anymore. He doesn't. Of course, sometimes he helps us. But he's unlikely to do it himself. It's very hard work that brings little money. Most likely my dad and husband are the last ice cutters. After them, there will be no one left. Young generation can be justified too. Climbing to the height of Mont Blanc to bring down 200 pounds of ice from there and sell it for $5 clearly isn't a dream job for a teenager. Even if your grandfather is a folk legend and the most famous ice cutter in the country. I can't help but take one photo of you with ice as a keepsake, with your tool and with your prey, the ice. This is the very important, my friends, a strategically important photo because I had an idea that might help change this man's destiny. Embrace the ice. Thank you very much. For now, I decided to keep my idea a secret, but looking ahead, I'll say we didn't just plan to change Balthazar's life for the better. There was an idea how to make the ice harvesting from Chimberaza profitable again and make the ice cutter's profession necessary and relevant for the modern world. If people needed my ice, I would climb here more often. I'm happy here. Of course, the results of our work are not particularly impressive. Our team of 5 people spent a whole day and a lot of effort on 4 pieces of ice, and at best they will earn $40 for all. Well, my friends, the day is coming to the end. It's getting dark. We return to the parking lot where we left our pickup. We'll unload the ice. Tomorrow we'll go to the city market. Tomorrow we'll see how they sell the Chimberaza ice. The next morning, we collect all the ice from the family stocks and take the goods to the local market. Do you have your own car? No, we don't. We rent a car from our neighbors. Today, you don't need to rent. We'll take ours. 1, 2, 3, hop. It's hard work, of course. Okay. Balthazar appears at the market immediately causes a sensation. We've just stopped and people come and ask for autographs immediately. Here it is, people's love. In crowded places, Balthazar is always in the spotlight. He's a very strong and hard-working man. Balthazar, you're a local Tom Cruise. Despite Balthazar's popularity, unfortunately, there are a number of people who want to buy a block of ice from him, so we got to old customers. This is how, my friends, the process of selling precious ice takes place. A small income of the Ushca family today is possible only thanks to a couple of cafes where they make cocktails based on mountain ice. We can easily find our way. Here's a photo of Balthazar. So Balthazar is a trademark here. Buenos dias, senor. Balthazar, my friend, hello. We make the best cocktails with fruit juice and Chimberaza ice. How many years have you been working with Balthazar? I've been working with him for 9 years, and my mother bought ice from him almost all her life. Our families have been friends for generations. Balthazar's ice is the main feature of cocktails in this cafe. The unpacking takes place right in the cafe. How much will you pay for this piece? The usual price, $5. Do you take all of it? No, for me it will be a lot. I'll take half of it and my neighbors will take the other half. So, you see, my friends, they only take half because the ice must be fresh. There is another cafe where they will take the other half. Now, tell me, as a person who's been selling cocktails for such ice for 9 years, why do people love him? The main feature of this ice is the small air bubbles inside. See? They give the cocktail a special taste and change its consistency. I'm going to make you a coconut cocktail, and you understand everything. Oh, you let me try, right? Cool. The recipe is simple. Balthazar's ice is broken into small pieces, add in milk, ice cream and fruit to taste. Then everything is whipped together. And the cocktail is ready. How much does this cocktail cost? $1.25. And if you use just ordinary ice, we have one price for that. It seems that such extraordinary ice should raise the cost of a drink many times, but they buy it from Balthazar at the price of the most ordinary ice. Yesterday, together with Balthazar, I harvested this very ice. It's a lot of work, it's very hard. And it makes sense that such ice is more expensive, because a lot of invaluable human resources have been invested in it. You're right, it's a very difficult job, and I would like Balthazar and his family to earn more, but we also need to think about our customers. People here are usually not willing to pay more than $1 for a cocktail. We simply can't raise the price. Jorge prepares a few more cocktails with fresh ice right away. Here, it's Balthazar's ice. If you turn on the flashlight and look at the light, there are no questions, it's bubbly. Oh, sorry, I dropped it. The jewel. But if you take another sort of ice, the difference is obvious to the eye. It's impossible to mistake them. I came up with an experiment. Let's make a pitcher with a regular ice and ask people to compare and guess which cocktail is which. Interesting idea. Let's try. Here, usual factory ice. What can I say? Blackberry cocktail. And now the cocktail with Chimberaza ice. You know, it's really different. Another consistency. Somehow it envelops the mucous membrane better and the taste lasts longer. I'd say the taste is more persistent. There's a difference. Let's go and do something nice for people. You are the star. Let's treat everyone. One of the pitchers contains juice from the ice of Chimberaza. In the other one, there's common ice from the factory. We'll now treat you to both juices and you will try to determine, okay? And the one who didn't guess pays for everybody? Balthazar's ice cocktail is number 2. I wonder if people can tell if apart just by taste. Here's the first one. Here's the second one. Determine which one is from Chimberaza. This one is from Chimberaza. The second for sure. Yes, the second doesn't just taste fruity, it's special. The first one? I think the first one. No, the second one. The opinions are divided. I think Balthazar will tell us the correct answer. This one is made of Chimberaza ice. The second one, congratulations to you. And you go, you guessed right. Complimentary cocktails from the Folkstar have created a real buzz in the real bumper market, and our experiment proved that Chimberaza ice is really special. People come one after another, and the majority easily distinguish a branded cocktail from an ordinary one based on a store-bought ice. Balthazar gladly treats everyone with drinks, taking pictures with his fans. In the meantime, Juan and I go to the next cafe to deliver the ice to the customer. There's also a portrait of Balthazar. Here many use his name as an advertisement. And here's a piece of ice, by the way. Let's take a look. It's with stones too. How many days ago did you harvest it? This one is 15 days old. It's well preserved. Thank you very much, Juan. Here's your $5. Sit down, I'll treat you to my cocktails. How do you think? If there was such a need, could you increase the volume of deliveries? And bring not 2, not 4 pieces at a time, but 10 or 20, if there was a demand? Yes, of course. If there is a demand, I can harvest more. There was a time when we worked all year round, but we got a lot of ice. Unfortunately, today only 1 of 6 species of ice has been sold, divided in half. It turns out that for their sent to the volcano and the whole day of work, the family received only $10. That is, my friends, we leave the market. There are 5 unsold blocks of ice left, and I'll take them. Perhaps we can perform a small miracle and change the destiny of this family. At least give them a chance. I'll take it at the standard price, 5 blocks for $50. Where are you taking it? It can melt. Perhaps it's better to take it home and sell it on the market later. Later is later, and my offer is now. I'm buying it. Thank you. I can just say goodbye to you. Yesterday, when we were on Chimberaza, you said you had never seen a thermos. It's amazed me so much, especially considering that you go to the mountains. It's cold here. To make it warmer for you, here you are, the thermoses. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. If you don't mind, I'll call a taxi for you. Take it, please. Well, my friends, Balthazar and his family are leaving, and we have a new urgent business and a grand idea. So, my friends, we are the most ordinary supermarket, and I will look for the most ordinary ice in the freezer. Here you are. We go to the checkout. An interesting observation. I bought 6 pounds of ordinary ice of frozen water for 89 cents. 66 pounds of such ice will cost about $9. This is almost the same price for which Balthazar sells a unique ice from Chimborazo. We'll take a bag number 1 and fill it with store ice. Now let's break off some of the unique ice that was harvested yesterday in Chimberaza. We'll take these to the laboratory and ask it for an expert opinion about the properties of the water obtained from the ice that is in each of these bags. Buenas tardes. I have two ice packs. Could you please melt this ice and give us an expert opinion about the water and what elements it contains? In general, everything that can be learned about this water as much as possible. Yes, of course. We will check all important indicators for drinking water. We'll place the samples in this machine. Here, at the temperature of about 100 degrees Fahrenheit, bacteria will begin to multiply, and we will see what lives in this water. Then we'll check it for heavy metals and other harmful impurities. It took about half a day to carry out all the tests. After Herman's call, we returned to the laboratory to find out the result. Everything is ready. Here you go. Ice bag number 1. Ice bag number 2. Let me remind you that number 1 I gave ordinary ice from the supermarket for analysis, and number 2 was the ice harvested together with Balthazar on the glacier. Test found a light dye from some additive in sample number 1. This is most likely the result of water treatment or filtration. So you say that the first water may already be filtered? Yes, it's definitely treated water, possibly mineral water. There are no such traces in water number 2. It's much clearer, but its composition, this water is more balanced. At the same time, in the second sample, we found small pieces of soil and grass. I can assume that sample number 2 was taken from a glacier and then wrapped in hay. See how clear this study is. They paid attention to the soil and even the hay. There's also a lot of oxygen in the second sample. This suggests that the freezing process was very long. It contrasts to the first sample. Analysis of minerals and heavy substances showed that the second sample is clearer and safer for human body. I like the result. I'm from Riobamba, and I can assume that the second sample is ice from Chimborazo. And Balthazar Ushca is the only one who harvested. I'm pretty sure it's his ice. The water from it even tastes more saturated. So you also drank our laboratory samples? It was my personal test. Well, what can I say? You're absolutely right. Let me ask you something. If such water from melted ice was sold in stores, would you buy it? Yes, of course. It would be very cool. It's much tastier and healthier than regular mineral water. Thank you very much. Thank you. You're a polyglot. Great. Wonderful news, my friends. We can safely go to the factory now and try to negotiate the production of a whole batch of water, the meltwater from the Chimberazo glacier. So, let's go. Our idea is very simple. All over the world, water from glaciers is highly valued. For example, water from a glacial spring in Canada costs $14 per bottle. From the Atlantic icebergs, it's $23, and the ice water from the island of Svalbard is $100. Establishing the production of drinking water from the Chimberaza glacier can bring good profit to the Balthazar family, and most importantly, it can make this ice useful for people again. While the laboratory was busy doing the analysis, we already called several factories that produced water in Riobamba, and we agreed on a small batch with one of them from the ice we harvested from the Chimberaza glacier. Buenos dias. Hello, welcome. Here, my friends, you can see clearly that the factory produces water. Here are the characteristics of the ice we brought from the lab. Great, all indicators are normal. This is fresh ice, freshly harvested with Balthazar. Our treatment process won't affect the composition of this water in any way. We will only filter out the remnants of earth and grass from it, so that consumers are satisfied. This will be natural glacial melt water. Exactly. First of all, ice cubes are cleared of hay and remnants of earth. Now we can finally see this miracle from the slopes of Chimberaza in detail. It's stunningly beautiful, my friends. I purposely took a flashlight to look at the light. Thousands of bubbles, pebbles, some inclusions. The relief is very interesting. Look, my friends, this is a special piece, a line, as if it's glass. I mean, the ice is perfectly transparent, and then there is a layer of bubbles. All this was formed for a very long time, and this is a natural process, a natural pattern. Diego, what do you think is the approximate age of this ice? Many thousands of years. This ice has a different molecular structure, thanks to which it doesn't melt for so long. Glacier is not just frozen rainwater. They are formed differently. In particularly cold regions of our planet, especially in the highlands, snow usually falls much more than it melts. Many layers accumulate over the centuries. Under their own weight, they gradually condense and turn into a solid mass of ice. This is how a huge glacier is formed. Layers of different types are evidence that the ice was formed for a very long time. Moreover, at different periods of history, there were different climatic conditions. The piece you brought in showed it very clearly. That's unique. It's important to know that meltwater is different from plain water. In the normal state, water molecules are in a chaotic order, but in the process of freezing, they gain the correct structure, which can be preserved even after thawing. It's believed that such water is better absorbed by the body and has a positive effect of human health. We are transporting a jeweled mind in Chimborazo. This device is called a pasteurizer. We'll load it with ice, then raise the temperature to natural 104 degrees, and by morning we'll get water. Here's the main secret, my friends. For the water to be unique and exclusive and to preserve its qualities, the ice should never be heated to melt faster. Here in these parts, 104 degrees Fahrenheit is a natural temperature, so the ice will melt overnight in this container. It will be a natural melting. Here you go, lower the ice inside and return it over. Balthazar, Carmita and Juan have no idea what is happening now. Beautiful. Give me the cover, please. Tomorrow, that will be unique, most exclusive water here, my friends. Meltwater from the Chimberaza Glacier. We return to the water factory. I've already contacted the director. The ice has melted, and we can start production. It remains a mystery how many bottles we will get. Nobody can say for sure, and when everything is ready, we'll definitely call Balthazar and his family. We'll surprise them and offer them to start their own business. Buenos dias. Meet Dr. Patricia Kolche, our process engineer. She's leading the process of pouring water. Nice to meet you. Hello. A historic moment, my friends. Our first batch. Let's go to the shop. Here, the place where we left the ice yesterday. Has the ice melted yet? Yes, but for this, we had to move it to another pasteurizer that heats from all sides and not just from below. Also, it turns out that the melting of such ice is different from the melting of ordinary ice. Of course, here's a denser structure, so it melts more slowly. Here, my friends, it's very interesting to look at the water made from ice. Oh my God, why is there so little? We must remember that when melting, all air bubbles leave the ice. That's why the volume of resultant water is smaller. You see, my friends, due to the fact that there are many voids in the Chimberaza ice, the volume has decreased. So let's start the process, shall we? Now we'll filter all the resultant water. Many of us have similar filters at home. No chemical treatment, so the water will retain its qualities. The path of water is very simple. It will get from this tank throughout a pipe using this compressor into this hose, pass through 2 filters, and then go to this tank. Our task is to influence the water as little as possible during the preparation process to preserve all the natural properties of Chimberaza ice. That's why, in our case, the simpler the tools, the better. Well, my friends, I'll pour it out. Let's see what's left at the bottom. Here, look. It's the sediment that we filtered out. Pretty big stones. Here. Perhaps they stayed in these ice blocks for thousands of years. Well, we've distilled the water. It's already perfectly transparent. It looks absolutely clean. The bottling process begins. Here, my friends, this is a disinfectant solution for the caps. The bottles have also been disinfected. Of course, it's, let's say, when compared with modern technologies with large factories, well, to put it mildly, it's homemade. Everything is done manually. Patricia, if you have to fill 10,000 bottles, do you do it by hand too? Yes, just bringing in more stuff for the job. In the small towns of Ecuador, this old technology is still preserved. This doesn't mean that the water is worse. It's just the volumes of production are different. As we can see, one girl manually pours it with a plastic tap and the young man screws the caps. By the way, it seems to me that this type of production is very suitable for Balthazar, because he also harvests ice by hand with his family and in small quantities. The three of us are bottling all the melt water in less than an hour. Here, my friends, judging by the pressure, this is the last bottle. It's already dripping, but still a good result. Now let's count how many we got. 6, 7, 8, 9, 16, 17, 18, 19, 162 bottles of water. Wait, this one is defective. It has some residue. This happens when the water is already at the bottom of this tank. Can I try this defective water? Yes, if you like. Well, my friends, the first sip of a new batch of Balthazar water extracted from the glacier of Mount Chimberazo. I can say one thing, the water is really tasty. No foreign tastes or smells, it's just perfect water. It's like some elite brands of water that are very expensive. Will you try it, Sasha? Like melt water, so sweet. Like eating ice. Just not cold. And now attention, my friends, an important moment. Remember the photo I took on the glacier? And then I told Balthazar that it's very important to take a photo for memory. And I told you that I had an idea, and this photo is very important. Attention. Ta-da! Now this photo is on the label, Water Balthazar, from the Chimberaza Glacier. Personalized, branded, a new brand. Let's do it. There. Labeling is also done by hand. Here, the big moment, the first bottle, the new product. Now we have just a small trial batch. If the experiment is successful, then it's possible that in a few years the Balthazar glacial water can be found throughout Ecuador. This business has great potential. Everybody knows Balthazar. This is a brand. Let's try to give Balthazar a chance. So that this batch of water is not the first and last, let's help them together. We all love this family very much and want to help them too. So, to begin with, we are ready to make water for Balthazar for sale. I mean, he won't need to pay for production in advance. From all the ice that he will bring, we will make water, and only after Balthazar sells this water, we will pay us the bottling at cost price. I got a text from our guide. They're in a taxi now. They're about to come, so we can get ready to meet them. I think we can manage without Rosita. Here comes the taxi. It's them. Balthazar Ushca, hello. Hello. I solemnly invite you. Meet this wonderful man. Balthazar, nice to meet you in person. Welcome. Now then everybody's here, the most exciting moment comes. It's time to present our surprise to the Ushca family. So, 1, 2, 3. Look. Wow, my father and I from Chimberaza are here on the bottle. Indeed, here's my ice. Do you remember where this water came from? Yes, we took it on the mountain, turned the bottle over and read what's written there. Balthazar Ushca, the famous ice cutter who has been extracting ice from Mount Chimberazo all his life. The water is made from the same ice harvested by hand by the entire Balthazar family, from the Purest Glacier under the peak of Chimberazo. By purchasing this bottle, you're making the work of the Ushca family ice cutters of Chimberazo necessary and in demand. It's about you. They're very touching words, thank you. I'm incredibly happy. If you remember, I bought 5 ice cubes from you. All this water is obtained from 5 blocks. What do you think this water is for? Probably so we could drink it when we go to the mountains. And to drink it in the morning too, to make our hearts happy. All of you answered incorrectly. It seems that the family hasn't yet understood what the main surprise is. Let's try to explain how these bottles can change their lives. This business project bears your name. It's called Balthazar. It's the name of the water, the melted glacial, unique, expensive water. This water is more expensive than ordinary water in the store. I'll tell you honestly, Juan, my greatest hope is for you, because you are young, because you can get ice every day. I just want to tell you why it's beneficial. Look, 5 blocks of ice, here they are. 162 bottles of water. You will sell 5 blocks of ice at the market for $50, right? Yes. And now let's ask the experts. Diego, how much do you think such a bottle could cost? I have been dealing with water for a long time, and I can say for sure that this water is different from the usual water sold in stores. These are millennial glaciers, so I think that for this water you can ask for at least $3 per bottle. Now we take a calculator. 162 bottles multiplied by $3, it equals $486. That is, the same ice has risen in price almost 10 times when we made water out of it. Without the best place to start selling this water is the museum where Balthazar works. People will buy it for sure. In the museum, I saw how the tourists react. Each of them will definitely buy a bottle as a keepsake and take picture with Balthazar and the bottle. We've never sold ice for such amounts of money. We will help you launch this project together. You can take these 162 bottles and sell them now. Diego will help you with this. We pay for another 1,000 bottles in advance. That's the work of staff, the factory services. You have to bring more ice, enough to make another 1,000 bottles. You already have them. This is startup capital. This is the start of your business. Are you ready to bring ice here? Often, a few times a week. Yes, if there are buyers, I'm ready to bring as much ice here as needed. This is a great idea. I think such water will definitely sell well. Thank you for leaving such a bright mark in the life of our family. God grant that you succeed. I sincerely wish you good luck. Now everything depends on you. Let me be your first customer. $3. Sell me a bottle of water, please. Here you go. Thank you very much, Balthazar. To take a picture with you and get something to remember about this meeting. Except the photo, I bought a bottle from you for $3. And believe me, there will be many more tourists like me. Fortunately, the Iguana National Museum agreed to help us and become the first selling point for the water from Balthazar. Our museum has a shop selling souvenirs. There are always a lot of tourists here. Balthazar's water will occupy the most prominent place here. This is the beginning of a new big business, an important social project. Thank you for everything you've done for us. How did things turn out for Balthazar's new business? We will definitely contact him later and let you know. In the next episode, now the most interesting, the swimsuits. Completely different Ecuador, bright, stylish, outrageous. We'll go to backstage of the main beauty contest, where we'll meet a unique girl. A very brave move on your part, whose participation became a worldwide sensation. This is an amazing event for Ecuador and for the whole world. She represents not only ordinary people, but also people like her. A contestant who challenged stereotypes and turned the idea of beauty upside down. Obviously, I'm different from the others. It happened when I was 5 years old. I remember nothing. An incredible girl with whom we'll dare to go on the most adventurous and risky expedition in the history of our show. Are you really ready to take on this challenge? I have no idea how much effort you need to spend on this, but I'm sure it will be unforgettable. The World Inside Out with Dmytro Komarov, Ecuador.